The following episode may contain sensitive content. Listener discretion is advised.
Everyone.
Hello.
Hey.
How are we doing?
We're doing well. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. Nikki, your hair looks lovely.
Thank you. I just spent like 4 hours at the hair salon.
Well, I can tell.
It's like being a self-care person. It takes time, you know, and I'm just grateful I was able to do it because I feel like going to the hair salon is a little pricey. And I've been wanting to do it for a while. And I was like, you know what? Just do it. Just don't think about the money and just go for it. And I did it and I liked it. And she did a really, really good job because I was scared it was going to come out for the listeners if you're not looking at me right now. My hair is lighter, but I was scared it was going to be like yellow or like orangey. And I was like, that's not what I wanted.
What's wrong with orange?
It doesn't match my skin.
That would look terrible.
So
when we met you in school, you
were
had blonde hair. Your
yes.
hair
Well,
yellow.
it was a good blonde when I started. And then when I stayed in New York and I would like dye my hair with a random person, it got like yellow. But I told the lady, I was like, I want it a little ashy. And, you know, I don't want it to be too shiny. And she understood exactly what I wanted. She did it better than what I wanted. So
We love that. Yeah.
And that's a rare. If you've ever been to the hair salon and you sit on that chair and you are vulnerable and they do a shitty ass job and you're like, yeah, I like it. I am you and you are me. I always say it's okay. Because I don't know, I have a hard time being like, oh, it sucks.
Yeah.
Even though you're spending so much money.
Right.
I know.
I get it. I'm the same way. Like, how many times I've gone and I've been like, oh, thank you, I love it. And then as soon as I walk out the door, I'm like, it looks fucking terrible.
Yeah. She did a great job. She was
it looks really good.
Thank you, guys.
We always forget to introduce ourselves. I'm so sorry.
At this point, you should know who we are.
I know. Well, this is The Show Must Go On, and I'm Giovanni.
Tracey.
And I am Nikki, and this is a podcast where we review films, series, docuseries, anything and everything, and the actors, the performances, the directing. We judged, and we feel entitled to do that the whole time.
Because
we're experts.
Right, we're the experts. Like, you should
Professionals.
Listen to us. Right. Any good movies, TV shows you guys been watching lately?
Yes. I've been holding on.
Ooh,
I've been
let's
dying
hear
to
it.
tell you because we haven't talked in almost 2 weeks. I've been watching Shogun on Hulu.
I've heard really good things.
Okay.
If you liked Game of Thrones, you're gonna like this. It's Japanese. It's so freaking good. I'm obsessed. I'm waiting. I think it's every Wednesday that comes out. Every Wednesday we're like, new episode, let's go. And it's Hulu, so I know we only have like 4 or 3 episodes left.
Should we do it?
I think you guys need to watch it and then we'll make a decision if we're going to cover it. I think it's really, really, really good.
I've heard good things. I know it's a remake.
Oh, it is a remake?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I had no idea.
Yeah, my dad watched the original. Loved it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So I don't know if it's like the same.
The same?
But
put it on the list. Maybe we'll watch
put
it
on the
and talk
list.
about it. We'll judge it.
And I've been also watching Palm Royale.
Me too.
And I liked it a lot.
What about you, Tracy?
I've been slacking a little bit.
That means she's been reading, which is not slacking.
Yeah, I read Jeanette McCurdy's autobiography.
Ooh,
I'm glad my mom died.
Yes.
It's really good. Really, really good. And listen, like, I didn't watch her Disney shows, you know? Like, I didn't watch iCarly. I didn't watch Sam and Cat. Like, that was a little bit too... Like, I think it was a little bit too old for that, I guess. Like, I was, like, 12, 13, 14 when those shows were on. So I wasn't watching that. But, so interesting. Her life is insane, and I highly recommend the book. It was really, really good.
Well, they referenced her in The Quiet on Set. So
yes, because she does talk. She does talk about Dan Schneider. She refers to him as the creator.
Yeah.
But having watched Quiet on Set,
Yeah.
like, you know who she's talking about, and she does mention him in quite a few parts, and the chapters are super short, which I love. I love a short chapter. So it's just like sort of like little vignettes, like situations and stuff throughout her life that just, it talks about her, obviously her relationship with her mother, her relationship with her, a little bit with her father, not so much with her siblings, because she has 3 brothers, but she doesn't really talk about them too much. But yeah, mostly like her work and like how she got into the industry and being so young, and she didn't want to be an actress. It was her mom who did. So basically it was like her mother was living vicariously through her daughter. So she was like one of those moms.
Gypsy Rose Lee.
Yeah, basically. So, I mean, and there's like a lot of other stuff, but I don't want to ruin it because I think it's a must read.
I'm gonna definitely add it onto the Libby app.
Talking about Quiet on Set, did you guys watch the latest episode?
I haven't.
Okay. Well, once you watch it, we can discuss it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do. That'll be my homework for this week.
I think it's on either Hulu or...
It's on
No,
Max.
it's on HBO, yeah, on Max.
Yeah, it's on
Yes.
I've been watching Three Body Problem on Netflix, which I've been interested in. I still don't know if I like it or not, but something that I think you both would like is a new true crime documentary on Netflix called What Jennifer Did. It just came out. It's number 1 on the movie list, the top 10 movies to watch right now, trending. I watched it, I think, 2 nights ago.
What did Jennifer do?
Did. Watch it and you'll find out.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, man, I want to know.
I want to know too. And then you went and you saw Frozen.
Oh, yeah,
The
that's
tour.
right. I saw Frozen.
How was that?
North American tour. And you guys saw it on Broadway, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So, which I'm jealous that you did. But, so, I did not see it on Broadway. So I got to see the North American tour here in Philly. And I have to say it was fabulous. It was fucking amazing. Like,
Tell me what you think about the deer.
the
Seriously,
deer, phenomenal.
How do they do Sven?
How do they do it? No wonder they have 2 different guys doing it because it looks exhausting.
It definitely
doing
is,
it.
yeah.
And hold on a second, Anna, she's the whole show. Mm-hmm. Like she is a triple threat. It is Anna's show. The woman has to sing, has to dance, has to be funny. There's a part, I don't know if she does it on Broadway, but there's a scene where she's climbing up this ladder and doing all these stunts. And I'm just like, this is her show.
Yeah.
Elsa, all she has to do is fucking sing. and
Hey,
sound
but
good at it.
that glove flies away from her.
I know.
That's what I was gonna say. Like
was great.
The
you know,
Disney magic is real.
It is real, and I loved it. I have to say that unfortunately, I've seen so many YouTube videos of that performance, so it's like I kind of knew it was coming, so it wasn't as like extravagant as watching it, for the first time like a virgin. But it was still beautiful. It was still a great show. Everyone in this cast was so good. I mean, but Anna really stole the show. She fucking stole the show. Like, I was floored by her. But yeah, I mean, so Elsa was great. We cried, you know. I told her that ending where she freezes, turns to ice. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it's like still so emotional. But Anna, man, whoever plays Anna in the North American tour of Frozen right now, girl, you know what the fuck you're doing. Give her a raise. Yeah,
Yeah.
she was great.
I'm so sorry Tracy doesn't get to like experience this as much because of where
I don't
you're
wanna
living.
talk
But
about
if
it.
in any city that you're at, if you have the privilege of experiencing a Broadway tour,
Live
do
theater.
it.
Go.
It's so worth it. It's so
Oh,
worth
it's
it.
so
You're gonna
worth it.
come out of there and your brain is gonna be nurtured. You know, you're gonna feel a little more culture. You're gonna have a different view on actors. There's so many good things about going to see a show. So if
Yeah.
you have the ability to pay for a ticket, please do it. Oh, talking about that, I was listening to the episode that we released this week, The Color Purple, and I had texted. I didn't text you, Trace, but I texted Joe, and I got upset again because I was, looking for the content for social media and stuff. I looked for scenes of Sophia Daniel Brooks, and first I right away had a knot in my throat because her character's journey. But then I got so upset because she didn't get the Oscar again. I was like, I am getting so frustrated right now because she should have won that. That was for her. And something you said, Joe, in that text, you said something like
I said,
that Davon had like 5 lines.
Yeah, I said, I like Davine. She's talented, but she had 5 lines.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
won an
And
Oscar for having 5 lines.
Yeah.
Versus Danielle Brooks had to sing, act, and dance. throughout an
and
entire
nailed
fucking
all
film.
of it.
And show us different emotions.
And this is
So-
not to take off from Davine's performance, but I think Danielle was more deserving of the award.
That's
big
when I
time.
know it's definitely a popularity contest and
Yeah.
political.
Yeah.
But again, I'm with you, not to take anything away from Davine, because she's
Yeah.
incredibly talented.
Yeah.
But when you think of an Oscar and you are comparing performances, that was an obvious choice. You know what I
It
mean?
was so obvious. I saw
So
like
obvious,
little
but-
snippets. And then I also saw like snippets of Fantasia, and I right away it was like something like triggered me, and I got a knot in my throat right away. I was like, oh
That
no, it's
movie-
happening.
That movie was a great movie, and I think it's underrated, and it didn't get all the flowers it should have gotten. But yeah. Anyway,
Well, yeah, I just wanted to comment on that. There's a lot
Thank
of
you.
trailers
We love the
out, and
comments.
yeah, there's a lot of trailers out that I have saved, including the Joker one, and I have not been able to see it. So if you guys seen the Joker trailer and you want to comment on it, please feel free to do so. But I have
well, why
yet
don't
to
you
see
watch
it.
it and we'll comment on it next time.
Okay.
But,
Have you seen it,
watched
Trace?
it, Tracy? The Joker trailer?
The Folie à Deux,
Yeah.
Lady Gaga and
Mm-hmm.
Joaquin Phoenix. I've just seen like thumbprints, like screenshots,
But
Okay.
not the trailer.
not the
Okay.
trailer. No,
I'm-
have your opinions.
I'm actually excited for it.
Okay.
I
was
mean,
nervous
even in
about
the
it.
little pictures,
I was
I'm
nervous
excited.
about it. I think it was going to be a little too over the top, and I was like, I think this is too on brand for Gaga, you know. And I'm like, I
Mm.
don't know. But now seeing the trailer, I'm like, oh, okay, you know
Okay.
what? So watch it, and why don't you watch it? We'll talk about the trailer.
I feel like
when
this
the-
is right up her alley, though.
Right, but that's what I meant by being too on brand. Like when she did Hotel American
It's not
Horror Story,
challenging.
I feel like it's too on brand for her, and that's what I was worried about. Like when I saw A Star Is Born, I was floored because I'm a huge Gaga fan, but I was just like, really, she's getting great reviews. I need to see this film. So I was like a tough judge on her when I saw A Star Is Born, and she blew me the fuck away. Like in that film, she is not Gaga. She's a different person, you know. And on top of that, she act, in my opinion, I thought a great performance.
Yeah.
So it definitely has the potential. So when I heard that she was going to be playing Harley Quinn, I was like, too on brand, maybe not as challenging. But watching the trailer, I was like, oh, okay, I kind of like this, you know.
Okay.
I think it would
Watch the
be
trailer.
challenging.
I don't want to say too much because I want to get your perspective on it.
I gotta watch it for sure.
Watch the trailer and then we'll talk about it next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, today's episode we will be discussing the Prime Video mini series called The Expats. Is it Expats or The Expats?
Expats.
It's Expats.
Really? Wait.
I think it's Expats. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's so
Oh yeah.
yeah. Tracey, tell us a little bit about what Expats is.
Sure. So it's a look at the personal and professional lives of a tight-knit group of expatriates living in Hong Kong.
Great. Starring Nicole Kidman.
Sorry.
Very short.
Blue.
No, you're
Ji
fine.
Young Yu, and directed by Lulu Wang. All right. Well, let's jump right
Well,
in.
before we go into it, how do we feel about the series? Like, I know, I just want to like get a general view.
Joe didn't like it.
Who?
What?
I said Joe didn't like it.
Let me say this. I was actually talking to my barber about it today because he asked me, what are you guys talking about tonight? And I was just like,
Is he listening to the podcast?
he has, yeah.
Give him a little shout out.
Logan, if you are listening to this, I'm going to give you this shout out. Logan works for the barber Winsome and here in Philadelphia. Book him, reserve him. He's one of the hottest barbers right now in Philly, and he is fucking phenomenal. But anyway, back to business. I want to say this. For me, it started very strong. Loved it, loved it, loved it, loved it. Until the very end, it left me extremely disappointed.
Okay. What about you, Trace?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I like things wrapped up in a nice little bow.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm a resolution girly pup.
Yeah,
I
need a conclusion. Like, because I get like you're picking up in a moment where it's like, obviously things have happened in the past and we're in this one specific moment, and then like obviously life continues and we're not going to see after that, but I just needed some sort of resolution.
Even if it was a bad resolution. Like,
I know. I wanted
exactly.
you just
something.
need to know, how does it end?
Because from
Because it's
everybody, I
also-
was like,
it's-
huh?
It's also that, yeah, and it's also the whole show is about a situation, and you're thinking the whole time, okay, we're gonna know what happened.
Right.
Like you're thinking
Yeah.
the show felt like a build up to know what happens, and at the end I was like, oh wait,
So it was a build up to nowhere.
we're not gonna know what happened.
Yeah, I mean, if we are gonna jump into that, like, there's a lot I have to say about that ending. Like,
Okay, well, I just wanted to know that part right away because I was like, am I alone on this? And
no,
and,
we're all
and-
agreed.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
okay,
I
good.
agree.
And the other
Because-
thing that I wanted to comment about is that this is something that I think this now, like after watching it like 2 weeks ago or a week ago, finishing it, I think the director or the writer, they were okay, so it was written to talk about privilege, which I think is the whole point. Privilege, and I want to say like guiltiness or like culpability, you know? I think that was the point of writing it. But the direction, it's not that it was bad. It took me to a place that I kept thinking I'm going to have an answer. rather than
Yeah.
me focusing just on, the privilege of these people, that the social classes, the classism through the movie, I mean through the series. So I think, because I'm not saying it's bad, I don't think that the story was bad, but the story is written in a way that's building you up to an answer,
Yeah.
you know?
No, it's like we didn't get any conclusion. We didn't get any closure. You were gonna say
Yeah.
something, Tracy?
No, I mean, I agree. And like, also, I think loneliness played
Yeah.
into a lot of it. Like, all the characters saying, I feel alone, I feel lonely. And especially like, they're expats. So it's like people from other countries who are coming and living in Hong Kong. And it's like, they don't really know people. Like, you have to build a life there. So I get
Yeah.
like that loneliness aspect and trying to find like a community. But then I didn't really see any sort of resolution with that either. Like, how did those characters combat that loneliness? Because at the end, I feel like they're still pretty much alone.
Yeah.
There was a lot that was just left unfinished. Or
Yeah.
maybe that's how I understood it. Remember that guy who left his mom? She was like, I made you dinner. She went to work.
Tony.
Grabbed a few bites. Yeah, grabbed a few things, put it in a bag and left, and then ended up being in jail.
Yeah,
Well,
where
because
was
he
that
was.
What was that
going?
about?
So takes place in 2014 in Hong Kong, and during the time they were having protests.
Right.
So he was protesting, and he got arrested for that.
What does that have to do with the story, though? Exactly.
I guess just that there was
That's what
like a
I'm
lot
saying.
of like political,
I
like
mean,
an uprising.
I guess that's what they're trying. They were probably trying to create show us to create, the political climate that was going on at the time. But I mean, I don't think we needed all that. We didn't need all that.
Well, I feel like
I
if you
don't know.
don't
It's just-
understand the reasons behind the protesting and the political atmosphere at the time and how that is integrated within the story and the characters, then yeah, it shouldn't have been in there.
I mean, for me, it didn't move the meter. Maybe I'm an idiot. I'm slow, but I was just like,
Yeah, for me, it didn't
was
do.
like-
I mean, there was like moments that I was like, okay, so are they just trying to portray, their economic status for the hardworking people with the protests? Because I think it was the protests and also like the auditions to be like an American Idol thingy too, and like how they were all crowded in the same place, and then they show Mercy's life, and she's living in this like closet, basically super small, like it's giving New York studio apartment, but it's dirty as fuck, it's like destroyed. So I was like, maybe they're trying to portray, how the country was at the time, and like for you to kind of have a sense of like the difference of how these people are living and then how these other people are living. Like some of them are not being affected at all, some of them the protests are their whole lives, and I don't know, it was just
I could see that, but I feel like we get a sense of that regardless because you have
Yeah.
these privileged families. So you have like Nicole Kidman and her husband and like that family. And then you have her neighbor, her friend Hillary and her husband. And then you have like, I didn't really understand that other like Asian woman and her husband living in the house and the leak in the ceiling. And that didn't need to be there. But like you
Right.
have all these privileged people and they have their helpers. And they're
Yeah.
all, like Filipino, Malaysian, Indonesian. So, like, you get the sense of there's really no middle ground. Like, you're either really
Yeah.
rich
Yeah.
and privileged, or you're working for those rich and privileged.
This show is
So-
all over the place. It's really all over the place. There are so many open-ended stories. There's no
It needed
closure
more
to
focus.
anything. I mean, you mentioned Mercy, Nikki. I mean, we never even understood what happened between her and her parents. Like, why did she flee Queens, New York to go to Hong Kong? Why aren't her parents talking? You know? Like, remember that when she was on the phone with her
Yeah.
mom? Like, your father refuses to speak with me. Or, like,
She said she
okay,
needed a fresh start,
Unless,
but
we're gonna
unless there,
find out. We're gonna find something out, and then we
unless
don't
there's a
find
season
anything out.
2.
I was just like, "What's season 2?"
Yeah, unless that's why. That would be for me the only reason, because I'm like, you open all these stories and they have no ending. They're just like there. I don't
think
know.
there's a season 2 though.
No, I
That's
don't think so either. But like in my head, that would be the only reason that
Yeah.
you leave shit like this, because you're opening, first of all, too many extra characters, and
Yes.
then too many extra stories. So if you're gonna open these up, close them, close. Like give us some kind of resolution here.
Which is
But there
why
was
I felt like
nothing.
it gave us a strong start for me because I was like, "Ooh, these stories are interesting, right? As
It's
long
so,
as they go somewhere."
yes,
You know,
it's
'cause,
so
I mean,
much.
as a viewer, I was expecting it to go somewhere. I was like, "Ooh, this is interesting. Something's happening here. Where are we going with this?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm waiting," and then nothing.
I think episode 2, I think I said to my boyfriend, I was like, do you think we're going to find out what happened to him, to the kid?
Gus.
And he said, of course.
Damn, fuck.
Because I was like, I have a feeling we're not going to know what happened to him, but we're going to have an idea.
Right,
Like it's some kind of evidence,
Something.
something that's, that they're not going to give us the ugly truth, but something, And he was, the whole time he was like, oh yeah, we're going to know. Like, don't worry about it.
And it's a shame because I think that the actors are so talented. Like
They did a great job.
Everyone did a great job. Everyone. I thought the directing was great and cinematography was great.
Beautiful.
Just the delivery and the writing, I guess I don't know who to blame, but it just didn't. It just kind of like went nowhere. All these open stories and no closure, no conclusion. It's like a unfinished book.
I was also thinking, like, I kept trying to be like, okay, well, like, what was their point here? Because I'm like, maybe they're open-ended because they wanted the audience to have, their own resolution, their own imagination. I was like, well, there's no fucking way, because I have no fucking idea of what happened to that kid. That's number one. Second, Mercy never wanted to take the money of that guy. So what is she going to do? Is she going to raise the baby there? Is she going to move back to... There's no thing. Now, the only thing that, like, broke me was seeing their nanny, Nicole Kidman's nanny, stay with them and go to the U.S. Because she felt like they needed her, and she chose not. But also that's the culture. These people work nonstop, and knowing, and then the showing of the other helper from the character of Hillary, just being so dismissive about, after she was like, oh, your audition here, put this dress, when she was wasted, put this dress on and all this stuff, and then the next day it's like she's so dismissive about everything that she had talked to her the day before. She was like, oh, make me breakfast, and it's like, you
really
obviously
sad.
don't care. Yeah, it's so sad. And I had a strong feeling that was going to happen, because at the beginning of the show, she tells Margaret, Nicole Kidman's character,
You have to
like,
set
she says-
boundaries. We're not their
she's
friends.
like, you have to set boundaries. They're not your family. They're just our workers. They're our employees, And I'm like, bitch, you put makeup on her. You gave her a wine. You made her put your dress on. It
Playing
was
the
like you were
piano,
playing
singing
with her.
Adele.
Playing
Yeah.
mind games. It's really not.
Yeah.
fair.
Well, telling
She's
her,
not-
like,
she
it's-
used her.
Yeah, it's your
Yes.
dream to be a singer. Go for it. And she's like,
Yeah.
great, I will.
And the next
But I'll
day she's
make you
like,
your
"Make me
soft-boiled
breakfast."
eggs.
Yeah, she just used her as a coping mechanism because her husband
Yeah.
was having an affair and
Yep.
she separated and her husband got a woman pregnant, you know. But I wanted to go back to what Tracy was mentioning that, you know, there is definitely something going on in the climate, political climate at that time where I feel like, and then also to connect to what you were saying that um, I have a brain fart. Where was I? I swear my thought was going somewhere. Oh, that you were trying to figure out what point were they trying to get across,
Yeah.
right? Where we didn't need all these small little extra stories, you know. The characters were enough. The differences between the characters and the dynamics was enough. For example, that one scene where she's putting makeup, Hillary's putting makeup on her maid and giving her wine. I mean, just the way that the maid was drinking from the wine glass with two
Oh,
hands.
my heart.
Like you knew that she was from a different class.
Yeah.
You know, like that was like those small details are all we need for us to understand as the viewer, you know, the differences between the elite and the help, you know. But then, yeah, the story's all over the place because then why call it expats? Is it about expats? Is it about the missing boy? You know, I don't get it. I was so
Also,
confused.
like the whole thing with her husband's family coming in, and I'm like, what are we trying to set up here? You know, are we trying to like establish, you know, like her relationship? Are they gonna stay in the show? Because we see them like an episode and a half, and that's it. And then the other thing is like that whole thing that she has her own apartment. Wait, I was like, that was so unnecessary.
But that weird
Like,
plastic tub.
I know.
the place is like you're
Wait, was that
literally.
her apartment? Was that
Yeah.
She
that
rented that space, and then it was weird too because like she would scrub the floors and then take a bath. But I
It
guess
was so
sometimes
weird.
mommy just needs her me time.
But I'm like,
Hey, I get
you're
that. You know, I mean,
yes,
I
but
don't. I'm not a mom.
your
but,
bathtub
you know.
is probably better than that shit that you were. No, it made no sense to me. I was like, why is she going to that shitty ass apartment? And also, like, your kids are in school all day. You have a helper. Your husband is never home. Don't tell me you need me time.
I think also she was having an identity crisis because she said that at one point she was like,
She
all my
wanted to
friends
go.
back home are CEOs and they own their own
Yeah.
companies and they're successful, and I'm
She also
an
lost her son. So
architectural landscaper and I can't do my job because nobody has a fucking garden here. Like everyone lives in a skyscraper. How am I supposed to do anything? So she
She
can't
was
work.
looking to come back home to the States because
So-
there was a job that was.
So it's like she
waiting
doesn't have a job, which is part of her identity. So the next part is being a mother. And then she loses her son. So she feels that guilt. Like, I can't even watch my own kid. So she's a failure at landscaping and she's a failure at being a mother. So I think she's just having this internal crisis.
oh man,
And maybe a failure of being a wife too. You know, that could also be. Another
I mean,
thing.
yeah, because her husband was going to church, and she's like, we're not religious.
We're not religious. She didn't know, and then I mean, maybe that's why she was putting so much pressure on herself to create the best 50th birthday party ever for him. Like, I have to do this. This has to be the best ever. All this pressure on her,
And then the food sucked.
and the food fucking sucks.
That's
I
terrible.
think that was so funny.
Yeah, what is this show about, man? Like, what do you like? What do you think happened?
And
to
I
the boy?
kept, I just kept focusing on that. I was like, we're gonna get the ending of this story.
Yeah.
Like I just kept thinking that the whole time, including when they, you know, when they went to see that other kid that they had to identify.
I thought it was him.
I thought it was gonna be him, but then I was like, it's not him. This was my track of thoughts. It's not him because they're gonna tell us what happened to him. And again, it's all this like build up to something that they don't tell you at the end.
And then
I actually have no idea what happened to that kid.
me either. I was asking for
I
you guys
also
for your
I was
imagination to be
gonna I
creative
actually
because
was
I
gonna
lost it all.
I was
Oh,
gonna ask
he's slave
Tracy because I
labor.
was like, yeah, I was gonna ask Tracy because I was like, Tracy, is there anything of his story that could go with the political climate that he was taken?
I don't know about that, but I mean, child labor, let's go. I mean, all you have to think about is the fact that, like, mainland China from Hong Kong is not that far. And then China's fucking huge. So you just have, like, someone take that kid and ship them off to China and work. You
Yep,
know, like I'm sure
I
there's
believe
like
that.
black market trading
A
groups
poor
and
baby.
child you know what I'm saying? So it's like to me that's what I was thinking. Like this kid is that's why I'm like this kid is never going to be found. He's gone.
Yeah.
He's in China somewhere already. Like bye. There's no way she's going to find him. So that's
I
why
believe
in my
that.
mind I'm like why didn't she just go back to New York with her family and be there for her kids that need her. Like the fact that her daughter, I mean, we're going to the end, that her daughter Daisy was like, "You're the worst fucking mother ever, and I hate you." And you're just like,
Yeah.
okay, bye. I'm going to go look for a kid that I'll probably never find and just abandon you.
Yep.
Like your daughter is crying out for attention, and you're being so dismissive of that.
Yeah.
Like I know you probably feel guilty because you could have been watching your kid and you let some stranger take control and someone that you probably shouldn't have trusted and you made a bad judgment call and now you're paying the price. But like you still have to be a mother to two kids who need you.
Yeah. And what about that fucking scene at the end when they're at the restaurant?
I kind of like the way that was set up.
You like that?
I did. I did
don't know
like the
how I felt
direction.
about
I
The
did like
direction was
it.
great.
Yeah, I liked it. And
that. I
also
don't
because
know.
I think that Mercy needed to have that opportunity to say sorry to both Margaret and to Hillary because she fucked up both of their lives,
Yeah.
you know? So it's a learning opportunity for her because she is young, she's 25 years old and she's about to be a mother. So I think this was also an opportunity for her to grow as a person and like learn some humility.
I think well, actually, let's talk about how beautiful Sarayu is.
I wanted to talk about her.
They're all
I wanted to have a
gorgeous.
full conversation about Sarayu.
Her face, I was just mesmerized. So beautiful. And I haven't seen her in a lot of things. And I think she was so talented. She
So
did
fucking
such an amazing job. And again, like this is like a story that's really not taking us anywhere because it's just about a problem and we're just circling around it. And I still feel like all of these actors performed just like A plus plus. They were so good. Nicole Kidman is just a beautiful actress. Like, come on. I feel like it's really rare for her not to do well in any role.
Yeah.
But then the rest of them, the girl that play Mercy, I don't want to say her name because I don't want to fuck it up. But I've never seen her either, I think. And she was fucking amazing.
She was great. She was great.
But I just wanted to say, because Tracey had mentioned, like, the daughter crying and all this stuff. I'm not a parent. I don't know how it feels to, lose a kid. But my heart felt for her when she was like, I can't leave.
I get it,
because
but
like for me my heart fell because I was like, this is a child in a foreign country. Even if you don't find him, she has to feel complete in the sense of like I did everything I could, and I feel like her staying meant she felt like she hadn't done everything she could. But I get what Tracy's saying, because my other thing is that in the show we're seeing all this, but she's really not doing anything.
Thank you. That's what I was
She's
going to say.
not.
What can she do?
She's going to this apartment to take baths. She's cleaning the floor.
She's
I'm like,
breaking into that neighbor's apartment who had nothing to do with it. Like,
I'm
she's
like-
just being paranoid.
I'm like, why are you not on the streets asking people nonstop? The last time where he was at, like, I would become FBI by myself.
Yeah.
But you see her in this state of, you know, desperation, but not really doing anything. And then this is when I think about like the privilege and, you know, the class. What was she expecting somebody to do it for her?
Yeah, the
Because that's what she
detectives,
used
but-
to.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I was like, that would be my only answer. If you're desperate to find your fucking son and you're not doing anything for it, what are you waiting for? For someone else to do it for you? That's your son. Nobody else is gonna do it for you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. She's so busy planning her husband's 50th birthday party. Like, I'd be like, no, I'm out there. I'm asking the vendors at that night market, did you see this little boy? Did you see this little boy? Did you know, like, where's the footwork?
Nada.
So that's also why
That
I'm
didn't
like,
happen.
you're abandoning your 2 children that need you to do what? There's
And then
nothing
I was
she can
thinking, I was like, oh, maybe, maybe she's staying because finally she's gonna do some work.
That's what it looked like.
It's
You know,
been
she has her
months.
backpack and she's like, I'm gonna go work now and find my son.
I
It's
am
been
a
like-
Like, well,
detective.
what the fuck did you do the last 5 episodes?
Like 6 months. It's been like 6 months. He's gone. He's in like whatever China. He's already like pushing rocks somewhere. I don't know.
the
What they do.
husband's already moved on. He's like, we need to move on and live our lives and now focus on our current kids. I mean, the kids that we have here. Because they need us. They still need us. And we need to be there for them.
Hey, they were so fucking spoiled. Whatever.
I
I
guess.
mean, that's what happens.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say maybe like the point of it too is that money cannot buy everything. Like with it, as much privilege as Nicole Kidman and Sarayu, like Hillary's character had, like her marriage fucking fell apart, and David got another woman pregnant, and she's battling whether or not she wants kids and all that. So like
Yeah.
she's got her own problems, and then all that shit with her mom and then her father, and then Nicole Kidman, like her kid gets kidnapped.
And then that other lady with a lot of money, her husband is having a full-on affair.
Right, and her daughter's spitting in the help's face, like they're brats.
Yeah.
So it's like these people, as much money as they have, like their lives suck.
They're not happy.
They're all fucking miserable.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not. I did want to mention one thing about Sarayu Blue that her role was very complex. That was a complex character to play. And with a show like this that is all over the fucking place, that you don't know what it's about, where it's going to go.
She was
I
the
think
most
she did a
consistent.
phenomenal job. Hers was the most consistent. And I felt like her storyline
Her journey.
was a journey and was the most interesting for me.
Yeah.
Because the one with the boy wasn't taking us anywhere. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Are we gonna find out what happened to him or not? But with her storyline, I was like, ooh, okay. You know, I was in it. Every time she came on the screen, I was like intrigued. That whole elevator scene, I was like, oh, okay. Ooh, you know, I
And
love
when she
that
meets him
elevator
at the
scene.
bar after everything,
Yeah.
and it's like
you
she's
know?
trying, and then she's like, you know what? Fuck you.
Because she's like, all right, am I the only one fighting for this marriage?
Yeah.
I guess
She
so.
was.
Bye.
Yeah.
Also, the
Great
outfits.
act.
Like, I loved the costumes. I'm here for like amazing wardrobe, and
Yeah.
like her wardrobe was the best. I did like some of
Beautiful.
Nicole Kidman's outfits, but whoever dressed
Nicole
Sarayu,
Kidman
amazing.
is so tall.
Seriously, oh, she's yeah.
Because
So
at one point, I think she was walking with the husband, which is the guy is also tall,
I know,
And
but still.
I was like, "Aye."
Yeah.
A whole ass
She's like
head.
5'10",
Two
at
giants.
No, she
least,
must be even more than that.
especially
She
in
has to
heels.
be more than that
Yeah.
because she can't be shorter than Taylor Swift.
How tall is Taylor Swift?
Like 6.
There's no way
No.
Taylor Swift is 6 feet.
Look it up. Everyone, look it up
No
right now.
fucking way.
Mommy,
Oh
don't
my
yell
God.
at me.
Nicole
I-
Kidman's
she's-
height.
She's 5'11". Holy shit, Taylor Swift is tall.
Oh.
Nicole
She's
Kidman
taller
is
than me.
5'11".
Oh, okay. So they're the same height.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that she was that tall.
Hell yeah, these bitches are long. And you know, because their arms are super long too.
Yeah.
So the whole
It's
time I
hard
was
to,
like, yo,
you
she's
know,
so tall.
to tell by videos and TV and pictures. You never.
Yeah.
can never
I mean,
tell.
when I saw her next to her husband, because they let her wear heels. I'm sure in other movies they make sure she's on flats. I was like, oh no. She's so much taller than him.
Oh my
I was
God.
thinking that when they went to the morgue, when they were going to like identify the body, and they're walking down the hall and they're side by side, and it was more of a close up. and she was just like a little bit taller, but in my head I was thinking, oh well, she's wearing like Converse sneakers, so
Yep.
they did it on purpose. They're like, oh, she's more
Yep.
like casually dressed, because when she's in the heels, because even at the party I think they tried to like separate them more so there wasn't so much a side by side, because she's so tall.
The acting was great, though. I think.
Yes,
Sarayu
no
was
doubt. The acting was
was
amazing, like a lot of it, but
beautiful visually, you know, but bad delivery.
it
Get your
had
shit together.
potential, which is annoying, because like
Yes,
I
it had
can't, like there were
potential.
parts where I was like, I see where they're going with this. Like I understand, like the whole thing with privilege, and then you have the help, and that line and everything. Like I get all of that. That makes sense.
You get where they're going with it, but it went nowhere.
Yeah, because
but
like if you think about it, if we would have had those like those chapters closed completely, we wouldn't feel like this.
yeah,
Well, that's why I had such a low audience score. Which,
Yeah.
hold on, Rotten Tomatoes 84%, which is a good score,
That's
and then
really
we get
good.
to audience score, which is 50%.
50.
yeah.
They all
I'm like,
feel
okay,
what we
there's
feel.
obviously something going on there. Like,
Well, now
Who
imagine this with like mediocre acting. That was the last
that would
thing
have
he
been like
told
maybe
me.
10.
Oh,
10%.
yeah.
That was the last thing he told me, or he told us. That's what it was.
Gross.
And it is not engaging the acting, and we were building every episode with one story, not many stories, one story to nothing.
Oof. Yeah. So, I mean, a series that had so many stories going on, so many characters in it, the acting was
didn't-
still great.
Yeah, like they all delivered beautifully their characters.
Which
But then-
directed by Lulu Wang, who did The Farewell, and I enjoyed The Farewell, actually. She also directed Touch. I don't know Touch.
I don't know any of those movies.
I did The Farewell. The Farewell is with Aquafina. Came out in 2019. I remember watching that one, and I enjoyed that one. Did you watch that, Tracey? At all?
I have not seen it. No.
Okay. It's a cute movie. I liked it. It's a sentimental film. You know, I think it was also not nominated for an Oscar or Golden Globes. I know it was one of those. It was in that pool of movies that was getting Oscar buzz. So
I feel like maybe a Golden Globe. It's
maybe
possible.
a Golden Globe. But I mean, I don't know. I wonder if it was a book and maybe they just didn't deliver it.
It is, yeah. It's based off
Is this
of a
part
book.
of Fun Facts? Sorry.
Yeah, no, and I'll go into it a little bit more, but
I mean, yeah. So I wonder what is the origination of this versus like what the delivery, like what were they trying to tell us, because they obviously did not execute it in a good way.
Yeah, I think my biggest problem is just with the end. Like, I think if they had just done it where Mercy's apologizing to both women for like messing up their lives, that could have been sort of an ending for her character. Like, okay,
Guys.
I'm going to have this baby and I'm going to try to be a better version of myself and raise a child and not be a fuck up. But then with her mom visiting and then being like, oh, now you're going to come home. And she's like, I'm going to stay here. I feel like, no, don't confuse us. Like, that's adding more to it. So that bothered me a little bit. And then with Hillary's character, with her going back home to LA and then killing her father. Because I love that she lied to him. Was like, yes, I'm pregnant. I'm having a son. And I'm going to tell him all the shitty things that you did, which I did kind of love that.
I loved that. Every second of it. I was like, fuck yeah.
But then she comes home and David's there waiting for her. And it's like, didn't you file for divorce?
Yeah,
he's having
that was so
another woman's
confusing.
baby.
I was like,
I don't think there was anything building. Like, I don't think it showed them as like we're together. It showed them as like we're friends. I felt also as a, yeah, like we've known each other for so long. This guy has been through it with me about my dad. Like, I didn't see them as getting back together.
No,
I saw them as
so
you're
either,
my friend.
but...
And
and then she buys a new rug and everything's fine.
like she was, all of a sudden she's happy. She's
because I feel like she needed to come to the conclusion that they weren't a good pair, a good match. But
I just needed more of that then. Like really show me that, because she's like, I can't see my life without you. You are my life.
Yeah, I didn't.
So like, I need more of that like realization, that show of like this epiphany of like, okay, now I know that I can continue without you.
Now I have a question for you guys. Did you have any theories about what happened to the kid? Because I had like 10 while the show was going. And I would be like, maybe
Tracey,
slave labor.
Yeah, said that.
Well, yeah, but like any other ones?
There were a couple things.
Mine is not that exciting. Mine is boring. Mine is that he just got kidnapped by another family who wanted a kid.
Well, so I thought about that. At one point I thought that Essie took him.
Me too.
The maid.
Oh.
I was like, she took him. The whole time.
Especially because like, I have a grandchild now. And I was like, is it Gus?
That, I was like, it's him. It's him.
And then when they FaceTimed, and I was like, is it him? And then it was him. And I was like,
I had the same reaction. I was like, it's him. It's him.
That would make the show a little bit more exciting.
Right?
Like,
it would have been so fun.
Because he was so attached to her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, it's him. And then they show him and it's not him. And then I was like, maybe the neighbor did take the kid.
Yeah, like I thought, maybe
but then he died.
But then he died, and there's nothing in the apartment.
But that's why the dog was barking so incessantly.
Yes, the poor puppy.
I know.
But yeah, I just wish one of my theories were right. I don't know.
I guess maybe that's the point. Is like we don't know, and Nicole Kidman is never going to know either. But unfortunately, that happens in life, where like kids get kidnapped and there's no resolution for these families. Yeah, like they will always question.
Listen,
maybe the whole point was frustration.
Maybe, and listen.
Well, I'm frustrated, so it worked.
If Nicole Kidman never finds out what happened to Gus, at least give us closure with everything else. You know what I mean? Like, you can't leave everything open.
Yeah.
I'm like, give us something, They give us nothing.
Nothing.
It's like Blue Balls.
Just
But,
like
yeah.
saying, I forgive you, I'm sorry, bye. I also feel like at some point, I felt like Margaret, I think is the name of her character.
Yeah.
Margaret was talking to
Margaret.
Mercy in that like final, scene where they're like face to face. And I was like, okay, we get it. You forgave her. Like, yeah. Like, she kept talking about it and about it. And I'm like, okay, you're fine, Like, yeah, she's having a baby. Bye.
But she did say, I want to give you my baby.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I thought that was gonna happen. I thought you were gonna do that, and then
Are
she
you
did.
sleepy, Joe?
I thought maybe she was going to say something to Hillary. Like, I'll give you the baby and you could raise it with David.
That would have been a great resolution for me, too. I was like, someone...
A resolution. Give us anything.
Just any of these would have worked.
Any of our
like-
theories. Any of
it
our
was
theories would have
like-
worked.
And the end.
And I'm going to walk through the city with my backpack on.
Yeah,
Right,
I'm just like,
right before climax, we're like, oh...
the
Yep.
show's over? Oh,
Okay, goodbye.
okay.
Yeah, I feel like
Mira, thanks for listening.
Yeah, I know. Subscribe, comment. I feel like it could have taken like one more episode to really wrap it up. Or make it a little bit longer. Because episode 5 was like an hour and 40 minutes.
A movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I thought, when I saw how long it was, I was like, oh, fuck, this is a movie.
That's what
So
I was
thought-
thinking. The 5th episode was going to be about like them
Right, I was
finding
like, oh, we're going to
guns.
get all of our answers here. This is
Yeah.
it.
They
That was the one-
saw
that
the
was one
kid
where
on
they were
a
at the morgue,
camera.
right?
The what? Sorry, we all
That-
talked
I mean,
on
that
top
was
of
the
each
one
other.
that... Episode 5, I think, was the one where they were at the morgue, right? Was it that one?
No, that was...
I think that was
third
episode 4.
Oh.
No, but I was like, oh, they saw the kid on a camera outside.
That's what I was thinking. I thought Hong Kong
Something.
had a lot of like CCTV. Like they're very much like, I wouldn't even say security. They're more like Big Brother, they're very like monitoring with their citizens. Sorry if I'm wrong about that. But I feel like they're very, controlling in that sense. So, yeah, wouldn't there have been some sort of camera that like security footage that would have like shown him being led away or like put into a van or
That would have been great.
yeah, like why wasn't Margaret asking about that with the detectives? Be like, do you have any CCTV from the night market? Like, have you interviewed any of the vendors, any of the people that were there?
She
Not
was
really.
taking a bath on her plastic tub. Like, what?
And then
So when she left with her backpack, I was like, oh, is she finally going to do some detective work?
And then, like, taking pictures of her kids and their identifying marks. So she'll do that, but she won't go with them home to New York.
Yeah. This is why I can't have any fucking kids. Because,
Oh, God. No.
like, just me losing a child, I think I'd jump off a bridge.
Oh, 100%.
I'm like, what?
I mean, I'd lose my wallet, and I think I'd want to jump
right.
in front of a bus.
I'd never be able to live with myself.
No.
So
And
I'd
like,
rather not
honestly,
have a
like,
kid.
the three of us have no fucking idea about that unconditional love. Like, we know it towards our parents, but that's different. They are the ones that create us. So we have no idea how that feels. Like, I know that I would be a fucking disaster without knowing how it feels to have a kid.
Yeah.
Well, and
So
also
I can't
I
fucking
feel
imagine.
it's true. Also, I feel like with Margaret, when she was drinking wine out on the terrace or whatever with Hillary, and she said, I didn't want to have this third baby. So I think that with that thought process, then there's that guilt of like, maybe I made it come true. Like, I didn't want him, and
that's
he
what I
gets
was
kidnapped.
thinking. I was like, is
Like,
this movie? I mean, is this series
put it out
about
in the
guilt too?
universe. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there. Yeah, just that like extra
'Cause-
amount of guilt.
because you think of Mercy, and I feel her whole character, she constantly has a guilt. Her character is a full-on guilt trip. And there's many levels of guilt. She has the guilt about, losing the kid. That's one. The guilt of basically leaving her parents in New York because New York wasn't for her, and not following, their culture, or like the reason why they were there for her, basically, because usually they leave to provide their kid a better life. Then the guilt of, having sex with a married man. Then the guilt of getting pregnant. I was like, girly, you need some like sage.
It's true.
Some shades.
Well, my thing is like she kept saying, "Oh, I'm cursed, and I'm like, have you never heard of condoms?
Have you never
That's
heard
the
of
thing
condoms?
too.
Have
Like-
you heard of making the right decision sometimes?
And that's what that
That girl was
girl
fucking
who was
stupid.
her friend or lover or whatever was saying is like, this is not a curse. This is you making poor decisions. Like, take
Yeah.
responsibility.
Yeah.
Victimizing yourself.
She absolutely was. That was really frustrating because it's like,
so
no one
stubborn.
told you to sleep with David. And then when you do, like, you should have used protection. Like, you're not on the pill. And he says that he's shooting blanks. But how, like, she was like, how do you know that your wife
He
is
had
the one
no
who
idea.
can't get pregnant? Exactly. So it's like,
He was in the pill.
like, you got to take some responsibility at some point and stop saying that it's a curse. And maybe you just don't think critically.
The only one who was taking responsibility for so was Hillary. Somewhat.
But she was such an asshole to her helper.
I know she was.
I felt so
Yeah.
bad. If I were her, I'd be like, ma'am, I have my singing competition
I'd be like,
today.
"Ma'am,
But that's not their
Make your own
culture. They're
fucking
feeling.
And
eggs.
she was so disappointed when she asked for the breakfast. Like, you can tell
They're
with her face that she was like,
She's like, you want the toast?
They're
Yeah.
Philippine. Like that's not how they're
know.
not like that. And you know what's sad is that I knew that was gonna happen because she cares so much about her job that Hillary tells her to not wash her husband's clothes or nothing. And after Hillary throws it, she goes and picks it up.
I know.
Because that they have so much respect for their job and the people that pay them. So when she said the breakfast, I was like, I know she's not gonna fight it because they just showed us how much she respects, her income right now.
yeah.
And they probably have to, that they're foreigners in this country basically, and they have no money and they need to make money.
Yeah.
Right. And then there was the one part when that woman is interviewing for a new helper. And she says, like, do you have any kids? And she says, yes, I have 3 back in Philippines or Malaysia. Sorry, I can't remember which. But yeah, like she has 3 kids. So it's like most of them are probably
has to send
sending money. Exactly. Wait,
Yeah, so
because
it's like they're working.
when the
other
2 helpers, Essie and Puri, was that her name? Anyway,
Puri,
they
yeah.
like meet up and they have something to eat. But at one point, are they standing in line for like a Best Western? What was that
Western
for?
Union, Western
Union,
yeah, they were
right? So
about
it's
to
like
send
they were
money.
going to send money probably to their families.
Because
Like,
I think
all of them waiting
Essie
in
also
line.
sends. 100%.
So
And you
that's-
know why? It broke my heart too because I remember I saw that a lot in New York. In Washington Heights, the Dominicans would. There's many Western Unions there because they make money in New York and they send it to their families in the DR, because when you're making dollars, it's way more in DR.
Right. Yeah, I think that's like another reason why Essie basically said yes to moving to America. It's because it's like they were going to pay her in US dollars and she was probably going to make really good money. So she was like, I may as well work while I can. And these kids are still young enough so that they need to be taken care of. So, like, I'll work for a few more years, send that money to my son, and then eventually retire. But that sucks because it's like she's going to miss her grandchild growing up and, like, being with her family.
And Nessie doesn't look like she's that young either. You know
No.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
No.
Her son wanted her to
girl?
retire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it sucks. Well, I give it a thumbs down.
Damn.
Did you say yeah or damn?
I said damn. I don't want to give it a thumbs
I'm like
down.
in the
I don't want
middle.
to either. I am like,
It's like
Teetering down.
this. Like one up, one down.
Mine's in the middle. Like, there were parts that I did like, but that ending
that's
just
what I'm saying.
disappointed
There were parts
me a
that I
bit.
did like, but so I guess I'll do the middle, Tracey.
Yeah. I'm in the
How should we
middle.
do it?
But
Should
I
we do it
didn't
like
hate
this?
it, so at least there's that. I didn't feel like I
Yeah,
wasted
Well,
my
the
time.
thing is, like, the performances were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the performances were.
You know, every single person.
Like, there were
was
a lot
not
of
one
good
person.
things about it, yeah.
If you want to
and,
watch
you
good
know,
acting, watch it.
You
sure.
can definitely watch that.
Oh my god, like when she's in the morgue and she's like, I can't stop laughing.
That was so good.
And I was like, yo, she's fucking
so good. I was
losing
like, that's
it.
me.
Yeah.
I said the same, Trace. I was like, she's losing it.
Yeah, I was like,
I was
she's
like, that
fucking
is
insane.
fucking me. That was great acting.
But I mean, also, it's like, how do you react in those situations? Like, you
Right.
don't know until you're in them.
Fucking can't
Yeah.
stop laughing.
It's good. She's good. I love Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, and then when he breaks down crying, oh man.
Yeah, it definitely
Extreme
the
emotions.
performances were good. The direction was really good. The photography was really good. We just have no conclusion of
Storyline. It
anything.
was just the storyline that was like a little
Yeah.
tricky, especially
So
at the end.
It's a maybe.
Yeah.
I give it
Yeah.
a side thumb.
At least it was only 6 episodes, and except for that 5th episode, they're basically an hour. So it's like you can binge it in a day. That's what I did. So
Okay.
So, Tracey, do you have some fun facts?
I do. Okay. So, as we were going to mention before, the show is based on Janice Y.K. Lee's 2016 novel, The Expatriates. And Nicole Kidman is an executive producer. And her sister is actually the one who read the book and said, you should make this into like a show or whatever. Because Nicole Kidman also has a production company called
Like
Blossom
Reese
Films.
Nice.
They all have production companies, but yeah. So Nicole Kidman needed to find the right director, and then she had seen Lulu Wang's The Farewell, and she said it was like inspiration struck, and she said, okay, there she is, our visionary has appeared, now I've just got to go and convince her to do it. And she said I think there was a lot of baking involved.
Oh.
Which I thought was
cute.
kind of cute.
Yeah.
And then Lulu Wang and Nicole Kidman then brought Expatriates to Amazon, and they got an Amazon level budget, so that can only mean quite a bit of money. So that allowed them to film in Hong Kong, which I'm sure was not cheap. And Lulu Wang had creative control, which is why that 5th episode was so long, and it focused more on the Filipino domestic workers, because she's actually an expatriate herself. She was born in Beijing, China, and she moved to the United States when she was 6.
Oh, okay.
So she is an immigrant. So I think that was also another reason why she wanted to
show
make
that.
this. Yeah, it's because she could relate. Now, the series did face some controversy over several issues. Now, Expatriates was initially criticized for focusing on the minority group of rich white foreigners, and a Hong Kong newspaper called the South China Morning Post called the series tone deaf, with others describing the sets as Orientalist because of the use of Chinese props. And other critics accused director Lulu Wang of ignoring the continued political situation in Hong Kong. So
How?
I don't know why, because I mean it was mentioned in
It
the
was,
series.
It's also
yeah.
like she didn't even have to mention it either.
They
So
didn't have to mention it, but I mean, it was mentioned quite a few times.
Right.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not exactly sure why she was getting criticized for that, but
The
she
show wasn't
was.
about that, but it was
exactly.
mentioned.
Right. The main differences between the book and the television adaptation include the portrayal of Hillary. So in the show, her character is of Indian origin, whereas in the book, she is actually an American, probably like Caucasian
I
American.
like that they changed it.
Me too.
Yeah.
Also, the series it spotlights the Filipino cast far more than the book. So I think like that whole with the help and the workers like wasn't highlighted as much in the work as it is in the series. Like that was like a big plot point.
Okay. So it was highlighted more in the
In
series
the
than the
series.
book.
Correct, yes.
Oh, that's interesting. I would think it would be the opposite. But
Right,
I
because you'd
like
have
that they
more
highlighted
opportunity to
more.
write about it
Yeah.
in a book, but yeah.
Okay.
I liked it.
I like that too. I thought that was
Yeah.
important.
Right.
So in 2021, Hong Kong passed a film censorship law to safeguard national security in a move critics said would curb creativity in its world famous movie industry and further reduce freedoms. That same year, Expats began filming, and Hong Kong granted Nicole Kidman exemption from its tough COVID-19 quarantine rules to film in the city. Because I think it was when you came into the city, you had to quarantine for 2 to 3 weeks, and she didn't have to do that. So her
Wow.
and
That was
also
2021.
yeah, and so it was her and 4 members of her crew were also granted relief from restrictions.
That was so long ago. That's
It
when
feels
they
like
filmed?
it. Yeah, they filmed in
That's 3 years
2021.
ago.
Yeah. But
Wow.
despite Amazon's billing of Expats as a worldwide release, the series is listed as currently unavailable to watch in Hong Kong.
That's so strange.
Ooh. This is just fun. This isn't really about the show. I just thought this was interesting. So with having over 7,000 buildings with over 14 floors, Hong
Oh, I read
Kong
that.
has the highest numbers of skyscrapers, outnumbering New York City.
Well, for sure. I mean, it's pretty obvious. You can tell just by
I mean,
looking
yeah,
at
I
it.
know you see it, but
It's everywhere.
I just thought that, I mean, it's obvious, yes, but I still thought that was
It
interesting.
did convince
It's a lot
me
of
to want
fucking
to go to Hong
buildings.
Kong. Yeah, it kind of convinced me to want to visit Hong Kong at some point in my life.
I mean, parts of it, I mean, it's like most cities where you have the opulence. You know, you have like these new, beautiful buildings and it looks so nice and fancy. And then you're going to have other parts that are a little more run down and, you know, poorer
That's everywhere you
areas.
go.
But yeah, that's what I said. It's like every city has that. But I just don't want to eat scorpions on a stick.
Yeah.
I've seen that and that
I'll
scares
try
me.
it.
Ooh. No, thank you.
Well, thank you, Tracey, for the fun facts.
I loved that. I love fun facts.
Well, is that a wrap for today?
Yeah, let us know what you guys think of this show. Of not us, but of this TV show.
We want to hear
Yeah.
about your opinions about
We
expats.
want to hear your opinion.
We already know
email
we're
us.
perfect, so
We
Yes.
know you love us.
yeah, we don't. I mean, you can tell us you love us, but
Follow
Let
us
us
on
go.
Instagram and comment there what you think about this
Right.
show.
Comment, like, subscribe. And tell your friends, tell the people you hate, tell your parents, tell your siblings, tell your bosses. To
People you
listen
hate,
to us
people
as
you
well.
love.
Right,
everyone, just shout it from a rooftop. Go and listen to us.
right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us again, guys, and we will talk to you soon.
Yeah,
See you
subscribe,
next
rate,
time.
and all the good stuff. Goodbye.
Woo,
Bye.
bye.